Okay, so we're reading Wanting More, Chapter 8. What we're going to do is identify Jamila's character, what makes her unique, in order to understand what's the theme or big idea of this chapter. What is the lesson that Jamila needs to learn? What is the lesson that the reader needs to learn? So follow along in Chapter 8. I'm going to read aloud, and you're going to follow and capture any details that stand out for you. Here we go, beginning, Chapter 8. It's not eavesdropping if your father and stepmother are yelling so loudly in the next room that you can't help but hear. She says, "I'm telling you, I've tried my hardest to be patient, but there's no getting along with her. And now she's turned my own son against me, with all I've done for him. I never thought I'd see the day when he would raise his voice to me, and for her. My father murmurs something that I can't hear. What's talking going to do? She doesn't listen. She doesn't even do simple things right. I know what she's thinking when she looks at me, and I can't stand it anymore. I hear the clink of glass on glass. He's taking another drink, I can almost picture him lifting that disgusting, smelly stuff to his lips. He says something again. So we can infer here that they're talking about alcohol. And she says, he'll be getting married one day. His wife will, and the rest is garbled. I pick up the pot that I'm supposed to be scrubbing, now on page 71, and attack it with all the energy I have left. When I finished, it's cleaner than I've ever seen it before. Maybe she's right. Maybe I haven't been putting in enough effort. It's not like when I did things for Mor. Why did she have to die? If she were here, I wouldn't be in this situation. Am I questioning Allah's will? Like Baba? Astaghfirullah. So this is a difficult word, but we're going to try it anyways. She would be so mad at me for thinking like this. Sometimes I wish I could just lie there and not wake up, die while I'm still good, before I have a chance to go bad. Because if I go bad, everything I don't even let myself think now would come pouring out of me. There are no pots left to wash, but I can't just sit here. I have to get up, get back to work. There is nothing else I can do. I get the broom bristles and head to the sitting room. There are still some chicken bones from the wedding feast stuck way back behind the sofa leg. If I just push myself under the sofa a bit more, I can reach them. There, I did it. Now she should be happy. There's really nothing left to do now but wait. So I wrap my Purani around me and hug my knees. That's when I realize how quiet it is. Jamila, my father calls from the other room. He's sitting on the sofa, leaning against the wall like he doesn't have the strength to sit up on his own. We can infer this is happening because he's drinking. His glass is half full of that stinky stuff. The bottle has very little left. You need to get your things together, he says. It's time to go. He doesn't look at me as he gets to his feet. I wonder why. So we're now on page 72. We're leaving. I run to him and give him a big hug. At first he seems surprised. His arms are held out away from me. But finally he relaxes and hugs me back, real tight, and he spills some of his drink. It doesn't take me long to pack. I don't have much. Just an extra set of clothes and my new comb. But she gave it to me. Maybe I should leave it here. No, I'll take it. Maybe it's consider a payment for all the work I've done. I bundle my things in my extra Purani and make a loop as a handle so it's easy to carry. Baba's calling again. I'd better hurry. I wouldn't want him to change his mind. We'll be all right. I wish Masood were here so I could say goodbye. But she sent him on some errand. She sent him away. It's hard to keep up. Through this alley, round that corner, right, then left. In no time, I've lost all sense of direction. The streets of Kabul are a maze. I'll never figure them out. So we know this is the setting, Kabul, in Afghanistan, and it's a maze. I'll never figure them out. It's been a long time since I've got out to walk. I'm gasping to catch my breath. I can hardly hear what he's saying. Something about how things have changed. And did he say something about long ago in Arabia? My heart's pounding in my ears. All I can make out at the end of it is, you know that? I nod, even though I have no idea what he's talking about. He turns around again to continue walking, but he stumbles. I reach out to stop him from falling. He pauses, looking at me for a moment. Tears come into his eyes. So I wonder why he's crying. It's a glimmer of the way Mor used to look at me, and hope fills my heart. Now it's 73. Maybe things will really be different now. He says, "You're a good girl, you'll be fine." Wonder why he says this. Inshallah. Why is he talking like this? He says he sounds so strange. And then he's walking again at that breakneck speed, muttering something about opportunities and grabbing a chance at happiness while he can. Is he questioning his decision to leave her? It can't be easy. She's so rich. We were guaranteed a home there. Now it will be tough again for a little while, but I'm sure we'll be fine, as long as we have each other. He can count on me. I'll work hard. Maybe we can find another family to work for, better than the first place. We get to a major intersection. Shops line the street. Little darkened huts all cramped together, selling oranges and grapes and fabric and naan. So this tells us they're in a marketplace. There are cars, trucks, oxen, horses, and people all jamming the road, carrying things, going places, raising up dust to choke my throat and land on the fruit and the fabric and naan. It's like that day we arrived here. Come, Jamila, stand right here. I need to do something. I grab hold of his sleeve. Where are you going? His face is twisted. He doesn't look at me. Never mind. I let go of his sleeve. He hitches up his shoulder to make his shirt fall properly. Then he takes 5 steps out into the crowd. So we're now going to turn to page 74. And take an opportunity also to continue with this. And does a strange thing. He looks back at me for a moment. For just a moment, our gaze is locked over the distance that separates us. Then some people pass in front of me, and when they move away, he's gone. He's acting so strange. If I were taller, I'd be able to see above people's heads and watch where he goes. I hope he doesn't take too long. But why did he tell me to wait here? He's always just dragged me along. Maybe he saw that I was getting tired. It's good to rest. He didn't say I had to stand all the time, did he? But if I sit down, maybe he'll pass by without seeing me. It can get very confusing here in the marketplace. I'm nestled between 2 very dirty shops. There's a butcher to the right of me with cuts of meat hanging from the ceiling. On the left is a type of garage place with greasy automobile parts. The butcher shop has this strange kind of curled up strip hanging from the ceiling near the meat. It's dotted with little black things. They look like bits of thread. I can't figure out what they are until a fly buzzes closer and then lands on the strip and gets stuck, adding one more speck to the fly carcasses. The new fly victim is trying to get off. I see it push itself up, but it's hopelessly stuck. For a surprisingly long time it struggles, then it stops, and for a moment I think it's dead. But the next time I look, it's trying again. I hate flies, but dying that way just seems cruel. I'd rather smash it with a stick. So now on page 75. My feet start stinging for a while. I'll just sit down for a moment. From this angle, people look very tall. I've been indoors for so long that it's fun to just watch them, rushing by with their parcels. They don't even glance at me, but sometimes their children do. They stare at me with big round eyes, and pause for a moment, until their mother or father yanks on their arm, and they get going again. The shadow in the street starts to shrink, so we know time is passing. When we arrived, the shade stretched out over me halfway into the street. Now it barely covers my toes. It's going to be Zur time soon. The butcher, a man with a big bushy mustache, comes out to stand at the doorway. He glances at me. I pull my Pirani in closer. He comes and goes back inside. When will Baba come? He's taking so long. My stomach growls, so I give it a punch to settle it down. I wish I had some water to make wudu. Maybe I can ask the butcher. He looks like a nice man. But Baba's going to come soon, inshallah. He can't be much longer. And what if I go back to make wudu just as he comes by, and then we miss each other? I'd better wait. I'm tired of watching the people, tired of checking each man's face to see if it belongs to Baba. All these people, I wish they'd get out of the way. Where's my father? The butcher has come out of his shop again, and this time he looks at me for a long time. Where did your father go, little girl? So, we're now on page 76. My stomach growls again so loud I think he heard it. I sit up a bit straighter. I don't know, but I don't like the way that sounds, so I add, he's coming right back. The man nods. Well, if you need anything, let me know. That was kind of him. A customer comes by. He calls the butcher Akram. So that's his name, the butcher's name. They go back into the shop, and I hear them bargaining back and forth in a friendly way. The day has got quite warm. The sun is angled down on me now. My mouth is dry. When the butcher has finished with his customer, he comes back outside again. You've been sitting there for a long time. I've made some soup. It's too much for me. Would you like some? I must refuse. He's just being polite. I open my mouth to say no, but other words come out. Yes, please. Tashakur. He smiles so that his bushy mustache twitches upward, and in no time he brings me back a bowl. There are bits of onion and garlic and turnip, I think. I need to lower my Pirani to eat it. He'll see my lip, but nothing, where'd I go? But there's nothing else I can do. I don't want to go into his shop. It would be too private. And what if Baba came while I was away? I turn my back to the crowds, so my face is somewhat hidden. Wonder why she's afraid to show her face. When I've finished, I look up to see the man watching. He smiles widely. Oh, look how fast you ate that. Please have some more. So we are now on page 77. Even while I'm saying no, he brings a pot and spoons more into my bowl. After the second bowl, he's about to pour a third, but I say, no, please, I'm full. I think he could tell I really mean it this time. He glances at what's left in the pot and says, maybe we should save the rest for your father when he returns. I have a feeling that this man hasn't eaten, so I tell him, no, please, go ahead and eat. I'm not sure when he's coming back. He starts drinking right out of the pot, and I realize that I must have been using his bowl. My face is hot. Why didn't it occur to me before? He swirls the soup in the pot, not looking at me, and says, where is your mother? Dead. He nods and takes another sip. There's a bit of soup dripping from the ends of his bushy mustache. I cover my face to hide my smile. So she keeps hiding her face. I wonder why. I know every vendor in this market. What was your father looking for? I'll tell you where he probably went. I don't know. He didn't say. Maybe he was looking for a job or a house. We just left our old place. He's watching me with a strange look on his face. Well, we'll just wait and see then. I need to go pray Zur. Call me if a customer comes by. So we know he's praying? I nod. I need to pray too. She wants to pray. I feel like I said the right thing. The man smiles and says, I'll bring out my mat for you. You can make wudu at the back of my store. There's a washroom there. So we can guess that wudu is a way to clean yourself before praying, especially before something religious. So maybe it's to purify oneself or clean themselves. I feel nervous about going to the back of his store. Mor always said that if a girl is alone with a man who is not closely related by blood, then the third with him is shaitan. Aga, is it okay if you bring out some water for me to make wudu out here? The man looks at me for a moment. I wonder if he's offended. He must realize I don't quite trust him. Then he nods. Of course, I'll bring some right away. Everything inside me is telling me this man is okay, but still, his mat has pictures of... Okay, I'm going to pause here. Take a moment to write in this section here any thoughts you have. Okay, we are now going to resume. The man looks at me for a moment. I wonder if he's offended. He just realized I don't quite trust him. Then he nods. Of course, I'll bring some right away. Everything inside me is telling me this man is okay, but still, his mat has pictures of the Kaaba and Medina Mosque on it. It's very fine, but it's been used a lot. I can tell by the worn spots where his hands and knees have rested. A good sign. I pray Zur right there on the street. It isn't hard. People don't bump me or anything. In fact, they go out of their way not to disturb me, so we can infer that the crowd is also respectful and or religious. Every so often the butcher comes out to check on me. Has he come yet? I shake my head. I wish he'd stop asking. The shadows are beginning to grow on the other side of the street, so we know time is still passing. The traffic isn't as thick as before. Where could Baba be? Whatever he had to do couldn't have taken him this long. Did he forget about me? He was pretty drunk. But even drunk, how do you forget your own daughter? Maybe he's been in an accident. Maybe he's lying somewhere, bleeding to death. Maybe. By the time the shadows have reached across the road and are starting to chill my feet, the butcher is pulling down the metal grill that will lock up his shop. He's looking at me with pity in his eyes. Still not back? I drop my head onto my knees so he won't see my watery eyes. You can't stay out here all night. Why don't you come home to my family? My wife has made some supper, and you're just about my daughter's age. But what if he comes while I'm gone? He looks up and down the street, squinting into the setting sun. I don't think he's going to come now. If he comes, he'll come tomorrow. And we can be back here early in the morning. He pauses. What if this is a trap? What if this man is only pretending to be kind and all along is planning to lure me into some bad situation? I've heard of things happening, especially to girls. But then I doubt they'd want to do anything to me, not with my lip and all. Little girl, you can't stay here tonight. It isn't safe. He's right. I ask Allah for guidance. Should I go with him? My heart feels calm and easy about it. He just doesn't feel dangerous. I get up and wrap my bundled up Pirani. Okay, I'll come. He takes me down one street and along another. I pull threads out of my Pirani to get leave a bit of a trail, so I can find my way back to this street if I have to. I wish I'd done this sooner. I wish I'd done it this morning when we were leaving her house. After a while, we get to a shop with a